The Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner is the first electric canner to meet USDA home canning guidelines for safely processing vegetables, meats, poultry, and other low-acid foods. It also doubles as a boiling water canner. Both methods use recipes with standard processing times and temperatures as defined by the USDA. Presto Precise Digital Canners are available in two sizes, 12 and 17 quart liquid capacities. The 12 quart model will be used in this video. Except for jar capacity, they function the same. This step-by-step video guide will demonstrate the pressure canning method, but before using it for the first time, refer to the Getting Acquainted section of the instruction manual for directions on cleaning and assembling your canner before starting to can. Also included are specific instructions for pressure canning a wide variety of foods, including tomatoes, vegetables, meat, fish, even soups and stocks. Let's get started. Always use a research-tested recipe and never alter the ingredient proportions. Today, we're using the recipe for pressure canning carrots. Prepare the food exactly as directed in the recipe. We're using the raw pack method in quart jars. Gather the canning supplies you'll need. For information on preparing jars, lids, and bands, refer to Canning Basics in the instruction manual and online at gopresto.com. Now turn to the pressure canning section of the instruction manual. Put the removable pot in the canner and place the canning rack in the pot to prevent jar breakage. Add 3 quarts of hot tap water, which will reach the fill line. Fully insert the power cord and plug in. Pressure can will flash on the display window. Press the control knob to select the pressure can mode. Rotate the control knob to set the processing time stated for the specific recipe and jar size you will be using. In this case, 30 minutes for carrots in quart jars. There's no need to adjust for altitude. Press the advanced arrow. Insert jars will light up. Fill the jars half full with hot tap water to efficiently heat the jars for canning and place them on the canning rack. Be sure the regulator is not on the canner cover. Place the cover on the canner, aligning the Install Remove mark on the cover with the mark on the canner body, and rotate the cover until the locked mark on the cover is within the mark on the canner body. Keep the temperature sensor arm in the upright unlocked position. Press the advance arrow and the warm icon will light up. The progress bar will begin scrolling to indicate that the canner is heating. Jar warming will take about 20 minutes. During this time, assemble ingredients and equipment and complete food preparation according to the recipe. When the canner beeps twice, fill jars will light up. The jars are now preheated and ready for filling. Remove the cover and lift out 1 jar at a time. Discard the water from the jar and immediately fill the jar with carrots, leaving 1-inch headspace. Add 1 teaspoon of canning salt to the jar, if desired, and add boiling water, again leaving 1-inch headspace as directed in the canning recipe. All recipes will indicate the amount of headspace necessary for the food being canned. Headspace is the airspace between the top of the food or liquid and the lid. It's important to release air bubbles from the jar and to wipe any food particles or liquid from the jar rim. Then position a flat lid. Using your fingertips, screw the band onto the jar until resistance is met. Do not over-tighten, as air must release from the jars during processing and cooling. Place the filled jar straight down onto the canning rack and repeat the process until all jars are filled. Place the cover on the canner, aligning the Install Remove mark on the cover with the mark on the canner body, and rotate to lock. Make sure the white gasket is on the temperature sensor. Then lower the sensor arm and turn the green latch clockwise until it aligns with the handle and locks in place. The regulator should not be on the cover during the venting phase. Press the advance arrow and the heat icon illuminates. When the proper temperature is reached for venting, the vent icon will light up and the timer automatically begins to count down. Venting is required when pressure canning. Air that is trapped in the closed canner must be replaced with steam to assure safe home canning. When the venting time is done, the digital canner will start beeping, and Put Regulator On will illuminate. Follow the prompt and place the regulator on the vent pipe. It will fit loosely. Press the advance arrow to proceed to the canning phase. The beeping will stop. At this point, the can icon will light up and the processing time set earlier will appear. The progress bar will continue to scroll as the canner heats. If the air vent cover lock did not lift during venting, air and steam will continue to release until it lifts. Once the required canning temperature is reached, the unit will beep twice and canning will light up. The canner is now processing. The timer will start to count down. The progress bar will stop scrolling and begin to light up in sections. It will increase in length as processing time continues. The Presto Precise digital pressure canner holds the exact processing temperature automatically. There's no need to watch or adjust settings. When time expires, the canner beeps 4 times. The cool icon will light up and the cooling phase begins. The length of the cool-down period will depend on the canner load and may take about an hour and a half. The timer will then display 10 minutes for the final cool-down and will start to count down. The progress bar will scroll to indicate the unit is cooling. When the cooling time expires, the canner will beep 10 times and the Done icon will light up. Press and hold the Cancel button for 3 seconds. If the air vent cover lock remains in the up position, wait for it to drop. Then remove the regulator, unlock the green latch, lift the temperature sensor arm, and take off the cover. Using a jar lifter, carefully remove the jars by lifting straight up and placing them upright on a towel. Do not retighten the bands. Allow the jars to cool naturally for a minimum of 12 hours, but no more than 24 hours before testing to see if a vacuum seal has formed. To check the seals, press down on the lid. It should be concave and not flex up and down when pressed. If a jar fails to seal, it will audibly flex up and down. Refer to Canning Basics in the instruction manual for a remedy. You now have 5 quarts of pressure-canned carrots, beautifully preserved using the Presto Precise digital pressure canner. Be sure to read the instruction manual and recipe carefully before each use. The Quick Start Guide is also a helpful reference tool. More canning information is available at gopresto.com. For a step-by-step video guide of the boiling water canning method using the digital pressure canner, watch the companion video.